Hello everyone and welcome back to the Football Insider Gaming channel. I am Connor Bromley and today we are going to take Scott Parker out of his misery at Burnley and put Sean Dyche back in the hot seat at Turf Moor to see how he would fare if he was dealt the same cards as Scott Parker. Of course, Burnley right now very much struggling in the Premier League and look bereft of ideas and are heading back down to the Championship. So I thought it'd be interesting to see whether or not their old boss, Sean Dyche, could, pull up some trees and get Burnley back and stable in the Premier League long term. So we're going to simulate 3 seasons, see how he gets on, see if he survived the save. Maybe he gets sacked by January. We'll see, though, as we simulate. So we'll catch you on the flip side. Let's go to Turf Moor and see what happens. So, Season 1 with Sean Dyche back in charge at Burnley. And we see a 17th place finish. So, definitely Burnley fans in real life would snap your hands off for this. 35 points, 2 away from third bottom Wolves. Leeds also relegated as well as Brentford. You look at the rest of the Premier League. You've got Sunderland staying up as well in 16th place. And yeah, as we look up, Spurs in 10th. Top 6, probably what you'd expect. Top 7, probably what you'd expect, actually. Man City win the title. But Season 1, Burnley survived with Sean Dyche. And in Season 2, it is another 17th placed finish. Burnley this time finishing with 32 points. So a worse season overall. And it is the newly promoted 3 relegated. Norwich, Stoke and Coventry go down. Everton also struggling down here. Sunderland, the other newly promoted team with Burnley, up in 11th place. Liverpool winning the title. Arsenal finishing in 4th place. So yeah, Season 2, success for Burnley. I'm sure again they would take that. And in Season 3, the Sean Dyche dream ends in tears. It is a bottom place finish. Just the 5 wins, 11 draws, 22 defeats, 26 points. Relegated behind Wolves and Birmingham and 10 points away from safety. Sunderland in 17th place. And at the top of the league, Liverpool win the title. They got Arsenal, Newcastle again doing very, very well. Spurs still stuck in mid-table. So let's have a look at Burnley themselves. And we'll see that Sean Dyche is no longer here. There is no manager at Burnley, unfortunately. So Sean Dyche sacked after this relegation. Let's have a look at the results. We'll go back to Season 1, see if there was any success in the cup competitions. And they start the season with 4 points. A draw at Spurs and a 1-0 win against Sunderland through the Carabao Cup. Second round against Port Vale, but out against Crystal Palace in the third round. Let's have a look. Is there any striking results? 3 straight wins here. 3-1 against Leeds. You got a 1-0 win against Aston Villa and a 2-1 win away against Wolves, but then a really bad period through November. Though a 1-1 draw against Arsenal is pretty respectable. The next win comes away at Bournemouth, Jan Fleming scoring, and an awful January out of the FA Cup at the hands of 2nd Division Sheffield United 3-0, and a really bad period here. Not many positive results. A win against Brentford here, pretty significant, and then another couple of wins towards the end of the season. One against Brighton, the other away at Ellen Road, which would have been significant for the relegation scrap. Let's fast forward a season and see what happens. And it was an open day defeat against newly promoted Coventry to start the season, but a first win came against Crystal Palace at home, 3-0 out of the Carabao Cup at the hands of Leicester City. Here's a 3-0 win against West Ham, which is nice, but overall form struggling. 2-0 win against Norwich. That's only, the 3rd win of the season by November. Back-to-back wins over the Christmas period. Actually, it's 3 straight wins over the Christmas period. Stoke away, 2-0. Manchester United at home, 2-1. And then a win against Crystal Palace through the FA Cup as well against Sheffield Wednesday. 1-0 away win against Coventry, significant in this relegation scrap. Out of the FA Cup against Leeds. And a 1-0 win against Arsenal. 10-man Arsenal, but they only got, a man sent off in the 87th minute. So that is good. And then a pretty rotten run here, really. Apart from this result against Arsenal, a lot of defeats. But overall, it was just about enough to stay up. And then this latest campaign that ended with relegation, and it's a real struggle. No wins in the Premier League to begin the season, with a draw here against Palace, through the Carabao Cup at least 2-0. Out of that though against Sunderland, and the first Premier League win comes at home against Birmingham City, but that's the only win of the first half of the season. Through the FA Cup against Stevenage, back-to-back wins against Sunderland and Fulham is nice. Through the FA Cup as well, 4th round against Grimsby, so a bit of a cup run here, and a win against Liverpool at home. Through the 5th round of the FA Cup, but I can see here that we were knocked out against Nottingham Forest after extra time in the quarter-finals. A 2-0 win against Manchester United as well, but that was all she wrote. Burnley relegated. Let's take a look at the transfers and see what Burnley have done in the market, if much at all. And the first season, well, this is the business that they actually did in real life, so no real surprises in there. I don't think there's any additional players brought in. The second season, 63 million spent. Florentino Luis, his loan deal is made permanent for 36 million pounds. Harrison Armstrong brought in from Everton as well. Rafael Santos Borre comes in from, I think that's that, Independiente. Matthias Svenberg comes in for 6 million. Ronnie comes in for 5.7 million. Brandon Austin, the goalkeeper, comes in for 2.1, and Daniil Trugyov comes in from Moscow, CSKA Moscow. In terms of outgoings, nothing majorly significant. Jacob Brun Larson, Lucas Perez, Lyle Foster, Zian Fleming, all of those going out on loan. And this latest season, not a ton spent, which is possibly why they got relegated. I can see Marcus Tavernier clearly signed at some point. Must have missed him off the list. But not loads done in the transfer market, which probably explains why Burnley were relegated. Let's have a look at the Burnley squad though and see if there's any notable players here. Who are the most valuable? Luca Koryosho, who I think is actually left in real life. Marcus Tavernier, who is currently on loan from Fulham. Hannibal, who is still here. Hartman, Esteve, Broya. A lot of these players seem to be here from the start. Takahiro Tomiyasu, he is here. So when did he come into the club? And he came in for free in the 25-26 season. Has been a regular player for this Burnley side. So Tomiyasu, one of the main additions to this squad. But overall, I think you'd have to say that the business has been underwhelming. This squad has not changed a lot since that first save, the first season, sorry, and the first, well, when Burnley got promoted, and the business that was done under Scott Parker. So not massive amounts of changes. If we look at the manager history, we can see that Sean Dyche was just sacked at the end of this latest campaign. So obviously we've got Scott Parker there, but yeah, 30 wins, 24 draws, and 73 defeats for this Burnley side under him. But that is fair and far better than what Scott Parker has in real life. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please subscribe to the channel as well, and we'll catch you again for another Football Manager simulation.